Hello, Divine Soul. I hope this finds you doing well. I'm Melanie, and this is my sacred space. Well, I completed my day. Happy Friday. I hope this Friday is leading into a fun, joyful weekend. So, when it comes to my post earlier today, I made a couple of videos. My first one was in reference to a song I heard first thing this morning, Bob Marley, called Roots. Okay, and so that led me down the rabbit hole of dissecting that song. And so what I came out of that was the wolf in sheep's clothing. I felt it was a warning, in my opinion, to myself that to keep my eyes open for some wolves in sheep's clothing. I guess what I want to say is, when I experienced the branch in the middle of the road, if you caught that video, that was my last video that I posted. It was a short video. I've been doing shorts here lately, just FYI, because I've been spending more time on me, and I was called to do that, and now I'm being called to start back with my longer videos. So thank you for this support. I love you so much, Divine Collective. Thank you so much. Real quick, shout out to Shay. I really want to help you with the pain you're having in your body. And if I have your permission, if you'll just say you have my permission, I would be more than happy to send you Reiki energy. Okay, and I'll do that tonight. Okay, so with your permission, I would love to send you some healing energy. Thank you, Shay. Thank you so much for everything. I love you, dear heart. I love you. Back to the story. I found the branch in the middle of the road. Now, I drove around it, and Father God said, no, stop. So I backed up, and I said, I need to get this out of the road so no one gets hurt. It's a county road, and that means that there's not as much traffic on it. So there's a lot of people who aren't paying attention that drive down that road. And, you know, they'll be scrolling on the phone in the middle of the road, not paying attention. So because I was saved from that branch, I needed to save someone else. It had to be done. I had to be the one to pull that branch out of the road. Symbolically, I had just made that post about needing to ground ourselves and planting ourselves deep into the earth because of this wolf in sheep's clothing that's in our energy collective. Masking as a chosen of sorts. Okay, so I got the branch out of the road, and on the way to my client's home, that's where I was headed. I was headed to house number 2 to clean it. I thought, okay, there could be one of two reasons why. Well, I had just left my first client's home, and I needed to go to the grocery store to pick up something to eat for lunch. Okay, well, I wasn't necessarily going to do that, but I kept hearing, go inside, just go inside. Well, I had on that sweatshirt that said, "You are enough." And on the back of it, it says, "Dear person behind me, the world is a better place with you in it. Love the person in front of you." Okay, so I'm walking around the grocery store. Mind you, I'm a hermit, have been for quite some time. I've been dimming myself. I've been dimming my light. Well, I recently expressed that I now know that my vibration has changed. So I'm already getting the attention, right? I'm already getting the stares and the acknowledgement of my existence. Well, now I have on this sweatshirt. So I was already feeling a bit timid, but I knew I had to go in there and I needed to share the message with my local community. And do you know, well, that while I was in the grocery store, I mean, every single person was looking at me this time. Everybody was reading the shirt. Everybody was looking at the back, even in the parking lot. So I'm like, okay, this is good. I'm blushing. I'm smiling. I'm feeling so much love because I was vibrating so high. Okay. So I step into the self-checkout line. I forgot my debit card. Okay. But I had my checkbook. I had already rang up the groceries. I asked the worker, "Can you please suspend this transaction? I need to go write a check in the other line. I don't have my debit card." My mission was not done yet, Divine Collective. So I get into the line. I get into it's number 6, okay, checkout line. And the guy in front of me has a string of groceries on the conveyor belt. And he just looked like he was so miserable. He hated being there. But he read my shirt. And I could tell his energy shifted. Okay, and as he was leaving, up comes an older man that I had seen before, okay? I had seen him around the grocery store before. But mind you, my light was dim at that time. Well, I felt him reading the back of it. I felt him reading the back of the sweatshirt. So I turned around, and he was grinning from ear to ear. He said, "Well, I was just reading the back of your shirt, and thank you, and God bless you." My mission was not done. I felt a tingle from head to toe, and the tears welled up in my eyes. And I knew that Father God had me there for that exact reason. I looked him in his eyes and I said, "I love you. Happy holidays. And thank you." And I hugged him. Complete stranger. And Divine Collective, that's why I went through all of this pain. My whole entire life is to witness and feel that love that I always knew I could give a stranger, and to receive it back. It was divinely led. It was beautiful. And I told him there was a reason I had to come into this line. And So, Father God told me to go in that store. And part of me thinks, deep down, that had I not gone into that store, like he told me to, I wouldn't have told that man I loved him. And I could have quite possibly have been in the exact wrong place and time when that branch fell. It was very fresh, I could tell. It had just happened because the people who live down that road live down that road. And if there's something like that in the middle of it, you betcha someone's gonna pull over and pull it out the middle of the road. We're protected. We are. There's a divine protection placed over us when we surrender and give our lives to God. Okay? Well, I get to my client's home. I tell her the story. She's very much a believer herself. And she was working on her own creative outlets at the time. She's a jewelry maker. And I mean beautiful jewelry. She works with gold. And she creates the most intricate, beautiful jewelry. And I was just so elated to see her creations. They love me and they appreciate me, and that's the difference. It's the difference. You feel it. You can feel the difference. And I feel it, and I know it now. So, when I was told to watch out for the wolf in the sheep's clothing, I was then questioned by an anonymous, or not really anonymous, but someone I don't even know, who found one of my videos. And I asked Father God that if this person truly wants to learn about you and the Divine Collective, please show me what I need to say and what I need to do so that I may serve you. And I think that's what we are being led to do right now, Collective. We're here to work as a team, to build, okay? And when we're brought to our teachers, we listen and we learn and we accept even the hard things. Even if it makes you upset or uncomfortable, there's a reason, okay? And that means it's time to take a deep dive into why that was a trigger for you. If someone said something to you or taught you something that maybe you disagreed upon, it's not about, I'm coming back to a book now, okay? One of my passed on angels led me to this book, okay? She was a beautiful angel. just like my mother-in-law. Today is her birthday, but she's not on this earthly plane anymore. She'll always be my mother-in-law, even though I'm not married to her son anymore. But she was my son's Nana, and she loved him. She loved him so much. She wanted him so bad in her life. We love you, Nana. So, my passed on angel, her name is Barbara. This is what she brought us to tonight. It's called Treasures of the Transformed Life by John Ed Matheson. This is a dominantly spiritual Christian faith book, okay? I haven't even read any of it. This is just where she told me to open it to. It's on page 245. That breaks down to an 11. And I have been seeing 1111 a lot. 111, 1212, 888. Okay? If you've been seeing these numbers, this is meant for you. This is under the chapter Common Goals, subchapter, okay? Those who take part in winning teams know it's not all about them anyway. It's about the common good. There's really no room for selfishness in a team that's hitting the mark. One of the greatest football teams of all time was the Notre Dame. Back when Knut Rockne, I may have said that wrong, was coaching, they had a backfield called the Four Horsemen. All 4 of those players made All-American. They played for 4 years and only lost 2 games. You talk about a winning team, that's a pretty good record. Here's a little insert. Being part of success is more important than being personally indispensable. By Pat Riley. It goes on to say, during their senior year, these guys were undefeated and getting lots of attention, and they felt pretty good about that. So Knut Rockne decided to teach them a little lesson. He pulled out the first string line and put in the third string line. In other words, the people that he put in the game weren't nearly as good at blocking the opposing team as the players he'd taken out. So when the Four Horsemen started to run and do what they normally did, they got stopped. They lost yardage and lost yardage and lost yardage. When they came off the field, Knut Rockne looked at them and said, "The Four Horsemen aren't so good without the 7 mules up front, are they?" Without the lesser-known 7 mules up front, clearing the way, the 4 horsemen couldn't do their job. Now, it doesn't matter if you're a mule or a horseman. It doesn't matter if you're the quarterback or the guard or the tackle or the wide receiver. What does matter is that you're part of the team and that everybody on the team needs everybody else to play their part. In Philippians 2:2, Paul urges Christians to make his joy complete by agreeing wholeheartedly with each other, loving one another, and working together with one heart and purpose. In the next verse, he continued, "Don't be selfish. Don't live to make a good impression on others. Be humble, thinking of others as better than yourself. Don't think only about your own affairs, but be interested in others too, and what they are doing." And it goes on to talk about dependability. When you're involved in an area of ministry, serving in some way, you may think that the little part you do doesn't really matter. What difference does it make, for example, if you decide to stop serving on the nursery? You're just one person in the whole congregation after all. If you step out, surely someone else will step in. But that misses the point. If you leave a hole somewhere, someone else filling that gap will leave a hole somewhere else, and so on and so on. As members of a winning team, we need to know that we can rely on each other. We need to know that everybody will show up for practice, so we'll all be ready for the game. That's the only way, when the win comes, that everyone can join in the victory. And it gives a couple bullet points on some things to dive deep into. The first one says, what's my attitude towards serving? The second, am I more likely to spread a positive or negative attitude among my team? And the third, in what ways can I be a better team player? And that ended on page 247, which has been very significant for me. I have been seeing that number a lot, along with 747. Divine Collective, the reason I just read you that was because I feel like people don't realize that when you approach something as large as raising the planet's vibration, they say, oh my gosh, what can one person do? Really, honestly. Okay. That's the unevolved mindset, right? What can one person honestly do? We all know what one person can do. Okay? It's about teamwork. It's about winning for the team. Okay? We signed up for this. Yes, we did. Our souls signed up for this. And Father God gives us the ability to forget all the pain and the suffering. When one soul is touched with our light, it makes the whole thing worth it. The whole thing. All the pain, all the suffering, all the tears. It made it all worth it. Don't give up. We have to be a team. We cannot let the wolves in the sheep's clothing knock us off our task. Okay? Stay strong. You got this. I love you. Till next time, love and light.